Hello, welcome. My name is Julia. I am the founder of Embrace Joy Yoga, and this is one of our on-demand yoga videos to focus on breath work. And specifically, this series of breath work is designed to help you become more in tune with your breath, to be able to breathe a little easier, breathe a little deeper, and hopefully help regulate your nervous system. So first, just a little bit of anatomy about the breath. So the breath is controlled by your diaphragm, which is a thin muscle that separates your abdomen from your chest cavity. And so as your diaphragm contracts when you breathe in, it kind of flattens. And then as you exhale, it relaxes and pushes the air out. And so also you have the muscles of the rib cage, the intercostal muscles that are in between the ribs. And so those muscles are helping your rib cage to expand as you breathe in and to relax as you breathe out. So to begin, you can do this from sitting or standing. But today we're going to try maybe bringing awareness to the rib cage and the diaphragm, just simply breathing deeply, deep belly breaths, and noticing how the rib cage expands as you inhale, and how it contracts, it relaxes as you exhale. So try breathing in deeply through the nose, maybe bringing your hands to either side of your rib cage. Exhale, feel the contraction. And so as you notice this, you may notice that as you're deeply breathing, you might notice your heart rate goes down, or you may start to feel a little more grounded. And so the diaphragm is connected to nerves, and one of those is the vagus nerve. And so the vagus nerve is something that regulates your parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. And so what that means is a sympathetic nervous system is fight or flight, and parasympathetic would be kind of like rest and digest. So you can feel very activated sometimes. That's your sympathetic nervous system. You may feel like your heart is beating faster, your breath may become more shallow. Because your body believes that maybe you either need to fight something or you need to run away. And so the goal with using the breath to regulate your nervous system is to bring you into a balanced state where you can rest and digest instead of feeling stuck in your sympathetic nervous system. So that's going to be one of the main focuses of this breathwork series. There will also be a couple of sessions where we'll focus on kind of the opposite when you are a little bit stuck in parasympathetic, meaning that you might feel foggy, you might feel sluggish. Then we may use the breath to energize. And so that's another way to use your breath. And that just brings some of your sympathetic nervous system activation in order to balance out and get you to a more balanced state. So that's a lot of information to take in. Don't worry, I will be reiterating and explaining things as we go along. But these are practices that you can easily do in just a few minutes each day, either at the beginning of the day for a lunch break. And I will be incorporating, of course, some yoga poses that can help prepare your body for breath work. And so today, specifically, we're going to go over what's called Ujjayi breathing, or ocean breath. And before we get into that particular technique, we're going to do just a few postures that can be done seated. And this is going to help stretch in the rib cage area of your body. Just really stretch from the side. We're going to stretch through the front and even stretch through the back. All of those muscles that are in your core area are going to help you breathe easier. So especially if you're very tight in your chest and your core area, it may feel harder to take those big deep breaths. So the point of doing these movements before we practice our breath is to really get everything a little bit loosened up and just help you be able to breathe a little deeper and really get that nervous system regulation going on. So to begin, let's again maybe bring your hands to your belly, maybe bring one hand to your chest, and just simply begin to take inventory of your breath. And so I invite you, if you would like to close your eyes, you're welcome to. You're always welcome to fix your gaze on one point just for concentration, whatever feels safe to you. So beginning to breathe deeply in and out through your nose. Maybe really visualizing the mechanism of breath. Noticing an expansion. It may take some time and some movements to really help you feel that deep, deep belly breath. So don't feel frustrated if you're like, oh, my breath feels a little bit tight right now. We're going to get moving in a little bit and just kind of loosen things up. So coming to a comfortable seated position, I invite you to find the floor with your feet. Notice your feet connected to the earth. If you're sitting in a chair, you may be sitting cross-legged on a yoga mat. And if that's the case, simply notice your connection to the ground. What we're doing is just kind of grounding, maybe bringing hands to your legs, just noticing. Not changing the breath in any way, simply breathing as naturally as possible. And so we're going to start with some seated cat and cow pose. And so if you've done yoga before, you may have heard the term cat and cow pose. And this is traditionally done on the mat in hands and knees position. But today we're going to do it from our seat. So you don't have to get up out of your seat. Just maybe planting your feet firmly, perhaps sitting up a little bit forward so that your back is not touching the back of your chair at this moment. And go ahead and maybe bring your hands to your knees. Take a nice deep breath in. Begin to kind of puff your chest out and lift your chin. Inhale. This is cow pose. Exhale. Tuck your chin, rounding your spine towards the back of your chair for cat pose. So inhale, maybe bringing your chest forward. Maybe invite your shoulder blades to come closer together. Exhale, tuck your chin. Maybe invite your shoulders to round a little bit. Inhale to move forward. And you can speed this up a little bit if you like. Really kind of moving with your breath. You can add some torso rotation as well. So moving your chest forward, kind of rotating to the right side, tucking your chin, coming into cat pose, and maybe move to the left side and then push your chest forward. So kind of making a circle in this motion and then maybe reversing, going the other way. Then when you're ready, maybe come back to center. We're going to take our fingers, kind of interlace the fingers, support your neck here. So maybe your thumbs are kind of supporting the side of your neck. Maybe simply begin to open your elbows a little bit. Maybe lean back in your chair and then just kind of lift your head, lifting your chin. If this is uncomfortable with your hands behind your head, you can take your hands to the back of your chair and just still kind of looking up to the ceiling, lifting your chin, stretching through the front of your body. And then from here, we're going to come forward through the center. Maybe lift your arms if you like, nice and tall. As you exhale, fold over your legs And maybe take some deep breaths, noticing that your back moves a little bit. Notice maybe those ribs coming apart and back together. Just another way of noticing the breath. We'll do another little dynamic breath movement as we inhale. Lift up part way, bringing your arms apart, maybe squeezing your shoulder blades a little bit. Exhale to come back down to fold over your legs. Inhale, invite your shoulder blades to draw together, lift up about halfway, and exhale to fold forward, allowing your shoulder blades to relax away from each other. Inhale to lift and squeeze gently. Exhale to lower and relax. When you do this a couple more times. And when you're ready, maybe come back up to the center. And so from here, you can gently release the shoulders, just kind of move, maybe circle the neck. We're going to try a seated triangle pose next to really stretch the side of your body and to work into the intercostal muscles that I was talking about in our ribs. So we'll start with bringing our right leg out to the side. You may like to scoot forward a little bit in your chair, planting your left foot and then stretching your right foot out to the side. So you may even want to come closer to the edge of your seat. And what we're going to do is maybe bring our arms out to the side, taking a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, reach your right hand towards your right shin. So you can keep your left arm raised, or you're welcome to bring your left arm down, maybe to grasp the back of your chair. You're welcome to keep your gaze towards the ceiling or turn your head to gaze towards your foot. Take a few deep breaths, perhaps noticing sensation, maybe noticing the left rib cage. And when you're ready, go ahead and come back up to the center. Reset, bring your right foot to the floor, maybe scoot to the left side of your seat, maybe bringing your left foot out to the side. Again, maybe sitting up a little bit taller, bringing arms out to the side. Go ahead and take a big breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, invite your left hand down to the left shin, maybe inviting your right fingertips up towards the ceiling or to grasp the back of your chair. Your gaze can stay up towards the ceiling, or if you'd like, maybe gently bring your gaze down towards your left foot. Maybe noticing what you feel in this moment. There's no right or wrong answer. It's like noticing, bringing awareness to the rib cage, and just noticing. And then as you're ready, coming back up to center, we're going to come back to our seat here and just go ahead and just take any movements you might like. You might like to take a couple of spinal rotations, kind of twisting to the right or the left, just loosening up your back, your spine. You might like to take a few more seated cat and cows, or maybe another bend to the right or to the left. Just whatever you need to make yourself as comfortable as possible. And when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and meet back in a seat. I'll explain our pranayama, our breath practice. So I've already explained a little bit of kind of the diaphragmatic breathing, really the big belly breaths and how the diaphragm contracts as you breathe in, how your intercostal muscles expand your rib cage as you breathe in, and how the intercostals and the diaphragm relax as you exhale, and it pushes all that air out. And as you focus on those big, deep breaths, the vagus nerve is stimulated since it's connected to your diaphragm, and the vagus nerve helps relax your body if you are in a stressed state. And so today I invite you to maybe bring your hands to the tops of your legs. If you're sitting cross-legged, that is perfectly fine. You bring your hands towards your knees. Or if you'd like, you can bring one hand to the heart, one hand to your belly. Begin to breathe in and out through the nose. Noticing this pattern of breath as I explain our first pranayama technique we're going to learn. So this technique is called Ujjayi, or ocean breath, also called victorious breath. And so this is a very common breathing practice you may hear people refer to in yoga flows and in yoga classes. And what it does is it's a slight constriction in the back of your throat. And that constriction kind of creates this audible sound that you may hear as you breathe in and out that kind of sounds like the ocean. And so especially, it may be hard at first to visualize or to really grasp the idea of that throat constriction. So first, I invite you to maybe breathe in through your nose and then breathe out as if you are fogging up a mirror. So you can even hold your hand in front of you like a mirror. Breathe in through your nose. And exhale. And try that a couple more times. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, fog your mirror. And now this time, we're going to keep that fogging mirror type breath with our mouth closed. So we're doing it through our nose. If it helps, you can try placing the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth. That can sometimes help kind of create that valve or constriction in the back of the throat. So go ahead and give this a try. You can try this as many times as you need to, no worries. It might take a little bit of practice. We're going ahead, coming into your inhalation. So nice deep breath in. Maybe bring the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth and exhale through your nose. Again, inhale, maybe keeping the tongue and the top of the roof of your mouth. And exhale. So as you do this, you may notice that audible sound. And after some practice, you may notice that this type of breathing becomes a little more natural to you. You might find yourself doing this kind of breath practice when you come to these intentional practices of breathing or yoga. And so it just takes some time to get used to, but you can continue to do that. Also, another thing I'm going to talk about in this video is we talk about our pranayama technique, and there's often a ratio. And so for this video, we're not going to worry too much about counting certain ratios of breath, but maybe just thinking about kind of equalizing our breath. So say we inhale for about 3 seconds, we're going to focus on exhaling for 3 seconds. And that's what's called a samavriti ratio, or an equal ratio for the breath. So you can go ahead and try that. Just you can use your normal breath, or you can continue to practice the ocean breath. We're going to breathe in for 3 and exhale for 3. take just a few deep, normal breaths without really thinking or counting, just kind of breathing, simply allowing your body to feel the effects, maybe noticing anything that has come up. And I invite you to try this practice of equal ratio breath or of ocean breath, or combine both of them. Maybe and try this a few times this week and notice kind of what you feel as you practice. And then next week we'll have another breathwork video with some yoga poses to prepare us for another breathwork practice. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. It has been an honor. Namaste.